Have you ever worked on a project that consumed you? A complete consumption of mind, body, and soul, one that forced you not to think of anything more productive than, how do I do this? Metal Saviors is that project for me. What started as a fairly simple idea escalated into nightmares upon nightmares, sleepless nights, and debating if I should just scrap the entire thing over and over and over again. But after a full, well, not really full, playtest campaign, and a few hours of screaming into the fucking void, I managed to get it in a state of being. Good? No, it'll never be good enough for me. It'll never be perfect. It's one of those projects. It's not fun to work on it. It's not entertaining to think of it. It's agony, an obsession that the only way to make perfect is that if I break every part of myself down and reforge everything to make sure that it is perfect. But enough about that. What's the game? Metal Saviors is a game about being part of the endless war between the Empire of Catan and the Federal Republic of Star Systems, the two forces engaging in a never-ending duel for supremacy among the stars. Of course, the clans, former invaders turned nomads, and mercenary companies are around, but they're not that important. Each of the characters is a pilot of a cav unit, part of a larger vertical armored cavalry, mechs that engage in ground warfare due to their extreme adaptability, mobility, and even space combat capabilities. The game itself uses my D2000 system, otherwise known as Megaversal, handwritten by me. D20 for combat and attribute checks, while D100 for skill checks. I followed my philosophy of personal skills being important, with skills such as gambling or etiquette holding equal value to things such as mathematics or cav piloting. The goal was to create a space opera RPG, though I'd be lying if I said I knew what I was doing, because to talk about Metal Saviors, I have to talk about its failures. Repeated, continuous, god-awful failures. I'll start from the top of the book, because it'll be a little bit easier. Character creation was at one point incredibly dense, then it was toned down, quite a bit actually. I always believed in that personal skills idea was fundamental, but the original draft of the game had it confused, as pilots were a lot of different things, but competent was rarely one of them. That and the continued issue of derived stats still haunts me to this fucking day. The Imperials probably have the most well-rounded development, if it's only because it's 3d6 rolls, but mercs and clans are easiest now, as they just have a lot of skills for people to choose. It's not perfect, it's broken. Skills, oh boy, skills. In total, there are 64 regular skills and 15 attribute skills. The goal is to have people take regular skills to flesh out their character, but what I noticed was people gravitated strictly toward useful skills and never touched anything fucking else. That and ATBs proved to be incredibly valuable, or outright forgotten. Trying to nail that perfect balance proved impossible. Doesn't help that combat training is in there alongside cav licenses, which I'm still thinking is wrong and terrible, but necessary to make sure people actually have difference in capabilities, but I have to add more. But then I had to take it away. Nothing felt right. It's not perfect, it's flawed. And then calves. Oh, calves. Originally, I wanted to make every limb represented, both arms, torso, both legs, and the head. After a few combats, I realized one thing. Every fucking combat was rocket tag or not. Because this was originally inspired by Armored Core, but that shifted to be more front mission because guess what? Nothing fucking worked. Combat was this weird, slow, plodding experience of either meticulously tearing every limb off every enemy or blasting them straight in the head to instant kill everyone. And then snipers turned out to be the outright best thing fucking ever, or it was a plink, 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 or explosive damage and everything died. But nothing worked. Over and over and over again, nothing worked. Eventually, I had to make a choice. What did I want? Did I want Armored Core, one health bar, zoom, zoom, bang, bang, or did I want front mission, more meticulous positioning? I settled on front mission. Both arms, torso, head, and now the combined legs parts were the name of the game. Speed was drastically slowed down, so people couldn't automatically cross the hex map in 2 fucking actions. Armored up, so people couldn't immediately die on one turn, nor the enemy could die in a single hit. Speed was always a issue. Too much granularity, too many modifiers, too particular in how these little movements work together. I had to outright drop the idea of shifting combat speed because it just didn't work. Nothing worked, actually. That's the funny part of this entire fucking project. Now, each cav unit has their durability ratings, a combat speed, just one, a weight limit for how much extra stuff they can slap on it, such as weapons, parts, abilities, anything like that, and a special trait to give it something special to split up each of the parts. They work now, but it's not perfect. It's actually all wrong. Combat went back and forth. Playtesters didn't understand the original NSR-MSR system of 4, as the main system is about inflicting as many penalties or building bonuses to make hitting something far, far easier. So normally a person standing completely still in a white room is a TN4 to hit, D20 flat, roll a 4 higher, bang, dead. Mechs were the same way with speed and armor changing the difficulty to hit them, but I had to change things, so I had to simplify them down. Too many modifiers, too many issues, too many moving parts, not perfect, never perfect. Pilots could use their actions, of course, often around 3 to 4 for either their combat actions, such as shooting, or defensive actions, like defending themselves. But that's the point. Nobody used fucking defense actions because they weren't as useful, as that's the main way to actually survive. You dodge, so standing around doesn't die immediately. You want to run, you want to dive for cover, you want to parry the hit, you want to get out of the way of getting shot. Cavs are the same way, but things got more complicated. Hit locations added another layer of stuff, with each type of damage changing where that damage actually was applied to. But all of this led to stuff. Gotta add more stuff. Gotta add boosting. Got boosting bad. Gotta rework it. Gotta add line of sight. How does it work? Gotta rework it. Gotta fix it. Gotta redo it. Gotta try again. Over. Nothing is right. Everything is broken. Eventually, I got it. It took a long time, but combat's there. Slower pace than your Lancers or, well, Lancer, because that's the only mech game people know these days. It's not perfect, but it's functional. And that summarizes Metal Saviors. Not perfect, functional. Ta-da! 101 pages that I rewrote twice and still stress over. If you feel like looking at it, the links are down below. Maybe leave a comment on it. I don't really want to look at it much. My name is Notepad Anon, and this was Metal Saviors, a nightmare about mechs. If you like what I do here, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And many thanks to the Plutocrat as always. Godspeed, and good luck.